Dear citizens, nowadays coronavirus has dramatically changed the lives in our country. Our concept of normality, public life, social togetherness, everything is being tested like never before. Millions of you cannot go to work. Your children cannot go to school. Theater, cinema, shops are closed. And what may be the hardest part is we miss our meetings which are otherwise usual. Of course, in such a situation, each of us is full of questions and worry about how it will be in future. Today I am addressing you in this unusual way because I want to tell you what guides me as a chancellor and my colleagues in federal government in this situation. This belongs to an open government that we make political decisions transparent and explain them as well, that we justify and communicate our actions as well as possible so that it becomes understandable. I strongly believe that we will pass this test if all the citizens take it as their task. So let me tell you, this is serious. You also take it as serious. Since German unification? No. Since the World War II, there were no more challenges that depend mostly on our joint solidarity and actions. I want to explain it to you. What are the situations in this epidemic? What is done on country and state level by government to protect everyone in our community and to minimize the economic, social and cultural damage. And I also want to tell you why it needs you and what each of you can contribute. About the epidemic, everything which I am telling you comes from an ongoing discussions of government with the experts of Robert Koch Institute and other scientists and virologists. It is being researched under high pressure worldwide, but till date there is no therapy against it. There is only one thing, that is the guideline for our actions. To make the spread of virus slow, extend it over the months to gain time. Time to develop medicine and vaccine by research. And above everything, we need the time so that all those who fall ill can receive the best possible care. Germany has an excellent healthcare system, probably the best in the world, which makes us confident. But even our hospitals will be full if in a short time they receive this many patients with severe infection of coronavirus. These are not simply abstract number in statistics. They are a father or a grandfather, mother or a grandmother, a partner. They are humans and we are in a commune in which the life of each person counts. In this opportunity, I want to thank you all the doctors, nurses, and all the employees contributing in the hospital and in our healthcare system. They are in front line in this battle. They are the first to see the sick and how severe some of the infections can be. Every day they go to their work and they are there for all of the people. What they are doing is immense. I thank them with all of my heart for that. So the point is to slow down the virus on its way to Germany. Therefore, it is essential to put it above all that the public life again goes to normal. The state will function again. The provision of food supplies is of course guaranteed. And we want to retain the economic activities as much as possible. But everything that could endanger people everything that could harm individual and the community. We must reduce it now. We must limit the risk of infection, which we possibly can. I know there are already dramatic restrictions. No events, no fairs, no concerts, and above all of that, no more schools, no university, kindergarten, no playing on playground. I know how hard all these shutdowns in the country are. It is an impact on our lives and democratic point of view. There are restrictions which are never seen before in this federal republic. Let me assure you, for everyone like me, freedom to travel is basic right, and such restrictions can only be justified in absolute necessity. Those restrictions are never favorable in a democracy and only be applied on temporary basis. But right now, those are unavoidable to save the lives. Therefore, from the beginning of the week, there will be increased border controls and entry restrictions with some of our important neighbor countries. It is now already very difficult for the economy, the big companies as well as the small businesses, restaurants, freelancers. In next weeks, it will be even harder. I assure you, the government is doing every possible thing to reduce economic effects and to keep the jobs for everyone. We will do everything in our power to help our companies and employees to pass through this difficult situation at whatever cost it takes. And everyone can rely on us that grocery supplies are always secured. If the supermarkets seem to be empty now, they would be filled soon. To everyone who goes to supermarket, I want to say, stocking up makes sense, but with moderation. Foraging as if nothing else will be available again is pointless and completely lacking the solidarity. And here let me thank the people who are less appreciated. In these days, those who sit at the counter of a supermarket or who fill the racks, they are currently doing the hardest job. Thank you for being there for our citizens and keeping the store running. I would like to move forward to most important issue of today. All the government measures would mean nothing if we do not use the most effective tool against the rapid spread of the virus, and that is ourselves. Anyone can be infected from this virus, so everyone must help now. First of all, we have to take it seriously, which is today's motive for the speech. Don't panic, but also don't think for a moment that one person is not important. No one is expendable. Everyone is significant and it takes efforts of all of us. This is the time what an epidemic shows us. How vulnerable we are, how dependent we are on the considerate behaviors of others. But with that also, how can we protect and strengthen each other by mutual actions? It depends on individuals. We are not doomed to passively allow the spread of virus. We have some ways to fight it. We have to keep the distance from each other in a considerate way. The Council of Virologists is quite clear. No more handshakes, wash the hands thoroughly and very often, minimum half-meter distance with the person standing next to you. And the best is very little contact with elder people because it is very dangerous for them. I know what I am asking for is very hard. We like to be close to each other, especially in this time of trouble. We think of care as physical closeness or touch, but right now, unfortunately, the opposite is true. And everyone must understand that at this moment, keeping distance is the only way to express care. The goodwill visits, the travelings that could be avoided, that all can get us infected, and therefore right now it should not be done in any way. The reason why experts said that grandparents and grandchildren should not get together. Those who avoid unnecessary meetings are helping all those people who are dealing with more and more cases in hospital, so we are saving lives. This will be difficult for many people, and that will also be important, not leaving anybody alone. Taking care of those who need encouragement and confidence. We all will be a family to find a company and to stand by each other. We already have many ways to resist the virus and its social impact. Grandchildren can send a podcast recording to their grandparents so that they do not feel alone. We all have to find a way to express our sympathy and affection. That is Skype, telephone, emails, and maybe by writing a letter. The posts are being delivered. We hear about many great examples of people helping elder neighbors who cannot go to shopping by themselves. I am sure that there will be much more into it, and we will be proved to be a community to show that we do not leave each other alone. I request you all, please follow the rules and stay healthy for the near future. As a government, we will always review what can be rectified, but also what may or may not be necessary. This is a dynamic situation. We will keep learning in order to change our thinking and find another instrument to respond. This can also be clarified. So, I request you, please do not believe in any rumors, but only the official media, which are often being translated in many languages. We are a democracy. We do not live by compulsion, but by shared knowledge and participation. This is historic situation and it can only be managed together. This crisis has to be conquered, about which I am completely sure. But how high will the sacrifice be? How many beloved people we have to lose? To a large extent, we have it in our own hands. We can now react together with all determination. We can accept the current restrictions and stand by each other. It is obvious that this is a serious situation. That means it will depend on how well each of us follows and implements the rules with discipline. Even if we have never experienced something like this before, we have to show that we act sincerely and responsibly, and thus we save lives. It affects every single person without exception and therefore all of us. Please take good care of yourself and your loved ones. Thank you so much.